Hello and welcome back to the channel. Life is hard, don't complain. Today I am looking at a Rough Rider Blackwood work knife, RR 1708. And Rough Rider is one of those companies that kind of a throwback, as their box says. For more than 30 years, the Rough Rider brand has followed the tradition of Teddy Roosevelt. We handpick the very best materials from every corner of the world in order to make the very best product. Anything less just wouldn't be a Rough Rider. So, this is a very traditional style pocket knife, or work knife, however you say it. In a very simple packaging. And I have some old knives sort of like this, but this one, you know, I saw it, it was ridiculously cheap, and I was like, that's a cool, just an everyday pocket knife. This is something, you know, lockback, you know, brass lined, wood handles with brass pins. You know, this is a, I think this steel is 440A. Closed, it's a little shy of 4 inches. Weighs 68 grams. Let's take a look, see. You know, very, very traditional blade, plain edge drop point blade, about little over 2.5, almost 2 3/4 inch long blade. Made in China. Just has the Rough Rider emblem. Made in China, RR 1708. Very, very nice. Just very, it's like what Paw used to carry, you know. Easy, very nice detent. Does have a little lanyard hole. You know, just very simple, kind of a nostalgic feeling knife. Overall length is, you know, about 6 7/8. You know, very very budget friendly. You know, the steel, with the steel being 440, it's got good corrosion resistance. You can sharpen it really easy. You know, it's you know, satin finish blade, with the brass liners. You know, it's got a cool look to it. It's a pocket knife, but it's kind of classy looking. It's not so tactical, you know, like this Kubi, you know. Now, granted, that is apples and pineapples, or like this Sog, you know, or this Savivi, you know. All these have pocket clips and flipper tabs, etc., or thumb studs. This Paw didn't have a thumb stud to open his knife. You know, he used his fingernail or his one good tooth. You know, anyhow, it's just a very nice, thin, unobtrusive throwback knife. You know, it's a little under a 1/2 inch wide at the widest. Feels very nice. The wood, I'm not sure what kind of wood this is. They just call it Blackwood. So not quite sure. You know, you could carry this every day. It's small enough that it will disappear into your pocket. You could carry this guy in a shirt pocket. It's light enough to where it, you know, it's not gonna make your shirt sag or anything like that. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But this will cut cordage. It'll do things that you need it to do as a working knife. But it's also nice enough to where if you chose to bring it in some dress pants that you don't want to, show that you're carrying a big tactical style folding knife or whatever, this would be just fine. So, very, very cool knife. I like it. I like it a lot. Again, it's a budget. This is definitely a budget banger. I think, I think this knife can go from $5 to about $12. You're not going to spend a whole bunch of money on this thing, but you shouldn't have to, because it is what it is. It's a simple knife, but it hits you in the right places, I guess. It's sort of gets you in the feels, so to speak. Yeah, they have this knife for $14 on Amazon. So, and I did not pay $14 for it. So, it's a great little knife to have on you and to play with. Anybody out there, have any strong opinions about Rough Rider? This is going into the case knives, some of the traditional buck knives, the Bear & Sons. Those are American companies. I think Rough Rider is an American company, but this knife is obviously made in China. And I don't think you could get a Bear & Sons or a case for $12. That's not to say you shouldn't get a Bear & Son or a case. If you like this knife and its shape, and you find it from another company that have a USA made version, let me know, because this knife in a better steel, made in the USA, I'd be willing to spend more money on it. I really like the size, shape, and feel of this knife. And for the money, you can buy several, and again, if you lose it, if it breaks on you, if it gets so dull and you don't feel like sharpening it, well, in our fast food world we live in, you do have the option to just rinse and repeat and replace. So, just saying, I don't recommend that. But if you lose a $12 knife that wasn't your grandfather's knife, you're not going to weep. So that's what I think about that. So with that being said, remember, life is hard. Don't complain. Until next time, take care.